Okay, this is the next day. We're doing division with negatives, and hopefully this one will be so much easier and faster because you already know the rule for multiplying and dividing with negatives. The rule is the same. So, as a quick refresher, let's just give ourselves a reminder. A positive times a negative equals a negative. But a negative times a negative equals a positive. Okay, here we go. It says, Marcus has $10 that he splits between his two friends. Write this as a mathematical expression and solve to figure out how much each friend gets. Okay, so Marcus has $10, so we're going to start with 10. And when you split something, I'm assuming evenly, we're going to divide it between his two friends. So 10 divided by 2, this just means each friend gets $5. Easy as pie. Nothing difficult about that one. Okay, but then we move on and we find out that Marcus is now in debt. If you're in debt, that means you owe somebody money, and that means you are working with a negative number. So Marcus is in debt $10 the next week. His same two friends help him out and split his debt between them. Write this as a mathematical expression and solve to find out how much each friend takes on. So now we're starting with negative 10 divided by 2. Thinking back to yesterday, I have one negative, which is an odd number of negatives, which means my answer is going to be, in this case, negative 5. That's all that one is. So just really reiterating yesterday's rule, if there is one negative, your answer is negative. If there are two negatives, your answer is positive. So let's write that down together. An odd number of negatives equals a negative. An even number of negatives means they all have a partner to cancel themselves out, so that leaves you with a positive answer. And just to reiterate, these rules are for multiplication and division only. So don't get this confused with our addition and subtraction rules. Those are completely separate. This is multiplication and division only. Okay, pause if you need to, otherwise let's move on. Tacit conjecture number 1 says evaluate the expression negative 45 over 5. When I have a fraction like this, which is technically what this is, a fraction is just another way to write division. A division sign is something over something. So in this case, the first something is negative 45 and the second something is 5. So this is actually negative 45 divided by 5. So either you might know negative 45 divided by 5 off the top of your head, but if you do not, let's review our long division. So I do 45 and 5, and I put them in their own little column. So I ask myself, how many times can 5 go into 4? It cannot. So I'm still working with 45. How many times could 5 go into 45? And I could just count by 5s until I get there. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. That's 9 times. So my answer is 9. But I notice I have a negative in the problem. And I only have one negative, which means my answer is also negative. So the answer is negative 9. Okay, let's move on to number 2. A diver descended, which means went down, so like a deep sea diver went down, negative, to a depth of 128 feet below the surface. She stopped halfway down to take a break. What was the change in her depth before and after the break? So let's draw a quick picture. Here's the water. She went down 128 feet, and I'm making that negative because it's below the surface. But she stopped halfway down to take a break. So here's where she stopped. Meaning I am splitting 128 into 2 equal pieces. And again, maybe you know this off the top of your head, but if you don't, let's set up our long division. Every number is in their own column. So how many times can 2 go into 1? It cannot, so it's 0. And I bring over that 1. How many times can 2 go into 12? 6 times. And that is 12, so 0, so I have nothing to bring over. And then how many times can 2 go into 8? That is 4 times, and I am finished. So my answer is 64. But again, I have to check my problem. How many negatives? 1 negative, which means my answer is negative 64. Okay, let's try a few more. Partner practice. Don't forget to check your sign of answer, or of the quotient. So again, an even number of negatives will give you a positive answer. An odd number of negatives will give you a negative answer. You have the rest of the time to work. Please get your work checked by the sub, just like the day before. Anything that is incorrect, the sub will let you know so that you can change it, and then anything you do not finish is homework. See you guys soon. Bye.